This project is a SARE-funded partnership grant where we're trying to preserve heritage beans across central Appalachia, and we're trying to make it more efficient to harvest them as a commercial crop here in West Virginia. So we're not only preserving the genetic diversity from some of these old-time heritage bean varieties that we've been growing in Appalachia for many, many years, many generations, but we're also trying to turn them into a crop that can be harvested and sold to people not only in West Virginia, but also in surrounding states. Well, here in West Virginia, we have so many different food crops that are sort of native to West Virginia. So we need to focus on crops that we are good at growing, that have a history in the state, that have a heritage. And so beans are just one example of that. I mean, there's a long-standing tradition of growing beans in Appalachia. There's a strong market for beans, but also there's a lot of people that haven't eaten these types of beans that would enjoy the flavor, the nutrition, and just the taste of these beans. So about 4 years ago, we started a project where we were collecting seed from seed savers across West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. And we decided to grow out some of these varieties and just see some of their horticultural traits. And so it turned out that some of them were just excellent varieties for yield and quality and nutrition. These heirloom beans are what they call runner beans. So they produce these really long vines that can go 20, 25 feet. So they have to be put on some type of trellis support system in order to be harvested. So the traditional way has been just putting them on fencing that goes up and down sort of in a vertical way. But we decided to angle them and look at sort of slanted trellises to make it more efficient to harvest them. So not only are we evaluating that design here at the farm, but we're also letting some of our cooperating farmers, our partnership farmers, use these same style trellises for their farm, not only to harvest themselves from their own labor, but also to open the fields up to you-pick customers in their neighborhood or their county to come to their farm and pick the beans off of these types of trellises. The response from using these different trellises that we've designed here has been excellent. I mean, the growers have been really happy with the quality of the beans, just how fast it takes to harvest them now that the beans are sort of hanging out from the vines. So they're very efficient to harvest that way. Those beans that can't be sold during the picking season, which is basically from late June through late September, can be frozen at any time during the harvest season and sold during the winter months as a winter produce item. When we're freezing beans, we're also selling them to hospitals that have been buying frozen beans. So there is an institutional market. Schools have been buying frozen beans. So there's some opportunities to sell processed beans to institutional markets such as schools and hospitals. Beans are a crop that can be planted in succession too. You can have multiple crops of beans, not only bush beans, but also these types of pole and half runner beans. So they're really an easy crop to grow. And it helps that beans have been grown in Appalachia for literally 800 years. So they're sort of adapted to this high rainfall, mountainous type of climate that we have in West Virginia. They like a lot of rain. Rain doesn't trigger molds and blights like it does on other crops. So in that case, they're sort of resilient to sort of even climate change that we've been seeing parts of here in Appalachia. So I encourage growers to start growing more beans, more of these heritage beans, and just work with the extension on how to make them more efficient and try to find the markets for these crops.